All right, what's up, guys? Hope you're having a nice day. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. We appreciate the continued support. All right, today we have Nurse Burn for YUGIOH's Edison format. Before we get in it, if you guys like Goat, Edison, Tengu Plant, Hat format, we have it all here, so subscribe for more. This is just going to be a 40 card main deck, no extra deck. Pretty straightforward. We are looking to burn our opponent. Technically, if you want to play those Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons, you can play those in the extra deck, but if you just want to keep it simple and for casual play with your friends, probably just need this main deck here. All right, for the main nurse herself, we have 3 Dark Lord Nurse Reficule, however you say that word. The nurse says that any effect that would make your opponent gain life points inflicts the same amount of damage to them instead. Pretty straightforward. 1400 attack, level 4 dark monster, fairy. Nothing else to say about her. Just that she's going to help do that nurse burn, which is the whole point of the deck. Instead of doing traditional burn damage, which we have some of those cards, we're going to do cards that make our opponents gain life points, and instead it's going to burn. As another copy of her, we're playing one Songan. We're playing Morphing Jar because no burn deck would be complete without a Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar enabling that draw 5 is just crazy. In a burn deck, that could be literally no TK for getting 5 new cards. And then we're playing the one Marshmallow. Marshmallow is not only going to burn, but it's also going to stall, so you want to play that instead of cards like Spear Reaper. And that is it for the monsters. If I'm forgetting anything that you guys think you would play as well, please let me know. But we have 34 spells and traps to go, so let's get through those. All right, first up we have Chain Strike. Chain Burn is a deck in the format. We do have a profile for that if you want to see that. But Chain Burn cards are also generically just some of the best burn cards. So we are a burn deck and we're going to play it. It's semi-limited, so you can't play more than that. Next up, we have the honorary burn card because of bad reaction to Samoichi and Dark Nurse. We got 3 Upstart Goblin. Not only are we going to dig for a card in our deck, but it says increase your opponent's life points by 1,000, so instead it'll burn. Being able to draw 1 and burn 1,000 is pretty freaking broken in this deck, to be honest. For some generic burn stuff, we're playing 1 Magic Cylinder and 1 Ceasefire. Magic Cylinder, give us a little bit of defense, burn it, and then Ceasefire, be able to stop those Raikos and hamsters from getting our back row popped. So that's really good. And then also just burn 500 for every single effect monster on the field. And then to finish off the anti-life point gaining burn strategy, we have 3 Bad Reaction to Samoichi. She's going to basically be our 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Nurse. The continuous trap, Bad Reaction to Samoichi, says, as long as this card remains face up on the field, the effect increasing your opponent's life points is negated and changed to inflict the same amount of points in direct damage to your opponent's life points. So this one preceded Nurse, but does the same thing, so we have 6 copies to get that done. And then next up we have the main Nurse Burn card of the deck. We have a gift card. Gift card is a trap that says your opponent gains 3,000 life points. Joke's on them, it's going to burn 3,000. That's freaking crazy. That's a lot of damage. Next up we have the Paths of Destiny. We play as a 3 of. The Paths of Destiny says both players toss a coin. So you and your opponent are going to toss a coin. It says if a player's result is heads, they gain 2,000, and if it's tails, they take 2,000. So in your opponent's case, they're going to be burned 2,000 regardless because they're either going to take 2,000 or they're going to gain, which Bad Reaction or Nurse will say they'll lose it instead. And then in your case, you can potentially gain or potentially lose. Doesn't really matter. Next up, we have 3 Secret Barrel for some generic burn stuff. It's going to inflict 200 points of damage for every card on your opponent's side of the field, as well as in their hand. So that's good for some generic game-finishing burn power. All right, we have 3 Dimension Wall. Dimension Wall is oddly expensive. I think it's because it's never been reprinted, but it's like $7 to $10 regardless of what copy you get, which sucks. I think gift cards also oddly expensive for being common. Anyways, Dimension Wall says you can only activate this card when your opponent declares an attack with a monster. Instead of you, your opponent takes the battle damage you would have taken. So like Magic Cylinder, basically just a free 1-for-1. They're going to take damage instead. Next up, we have some generic draw cards. Let me move these out of the way real quick. Like I said, chain cards, which is a part of that chain burn strategy. is going to be generically be some of the best burn cards in the format. A part of the chain strategy, we have 3 Accumulated Fortune. Accumulated Fortune reads, activate only as a chain link 4 or higher. Draw 2 cards. You cannot activate this card if multiple cards / effects with the same name are in that chain. So we have a bunch of traps, so a bunch of chainable stuff. Being able to dig for more cards, just like I mentioned with Morphing Jar, is a way of getting that 8,000 points that your opponent has down to 0 quicker. Speaking of draw cards that are chainable, we got 3 Reckless Greed. There may not be another turn to care about skipping your draw phase. That's how fast you can go for game with burn decks, especially if one of these is getting into like Morphing Jar. Then who even cares at all? Your draw phases are just irrelevant at that point. We do have a lot of draw power, so again, you got to play it, need it. And then if for some reason you do draw multiple, keep in mind if the game does progress long enough that you only have to skip the next 2 draw phases. Even if you activate multiple, it doesn't stack. So you want to activate these together as quickly as possible. And next up, we have 3 Legacy Yatagrasu. Legacy Yatagrasu is going to be that free flip, draw 1. If your opponent happens to control Spear Monster, which is only likely against the Frog deck, which sometimes plays Dark Dust Spirit, you can get 2 draws, but other than that, it's probably going to get 1. And then Jar of Greed, another card that's chainable, another draw card. And that is it for the deck, guys. If you guys have any questions about the 40 card main list, please let me know down below. Also, likewise, if you have any suggestions, please put them down below. I'm always looking at ways to innovate the deck. There is quite a few cards in the pool that do burn, and there's a bunch of different choices that you can obviously play, like Just Desserts, Ojama Trio. Like I said, there's more stall cards like Spirit Reaper. There's a bunch of stuff out there, so if there's something you would play, please let me know and let me know why. If you guys like other burn strategies, we have, not only do we have Nurse Burn, but we have Chain Burn, like I said before 100 times already. And then we also have Stall Burn. So if you guys like those stall cards like Lava Golem, Nightmare Wheel, we have that one. And lastly, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's always free of charge. Gotta say that. And then if you guys like Go, Edison, Tengu Plant, or Hat format, we have that all here as well as like Nurse Burn for those formats, at least for Tengu, I know. And then if there's any formats you guys would like to see, please let me know. I'm always looking for suggestions. But yeah, that's about it. Not much else to say about the deck. It could definitely sack your opponent if they have no way of stopping it. A lot of people have a lot of dead cards against you because they're playing a lot of battle traps. And that's one of the upsides of this deck, that we don't care about battle traps. And then more often than not, people make the mistake of not playing enough back removal. And even if they do, a lot of this is chainable, so sometimes it doesn't really hurt us too much. All right, guys, peace out.